Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me today, Jay Huseman. We are here for the New Hampshire preview for the NASCAR Truck Series. A lot to look forward to here. Jay, have you checked out the entry list? This is an elimination race, by the way.
Yeah, for the Truck Series, traveling to the Northeast there in New Hampshire, not a lot of extra teams as we got 36 drivers for 36 spots. But there are some interesting drivers on that list for sure. In the number one, the Tricon Garage, that's going to be Brent Cruz. No surprise there. The number 02, that'll be Jason Alexander. And that Jason is spelled with a Y, so it is not the actor that played George Costanza, just to let you know. The number 2, Stephen Malozzi. The number 7, Patrick Emmerling. The number 16, we saw this a little earlier in the year in the playoffs, Christian Eckes. The number 22 will be Blake Lothian from the ARCA Menard Series. The number 62, and if you're from that area, you're going to like this, Michael Christopher Jr., and that is the nephew of Ted Christopher, modified driver up in that area. And then the number 69 will be Derek White. So I think it's going to be an interesting race on top of, like you said, elimination race for the Truck Series.
Yes, indeed. And that NASCAR Truck Series race will be the EJP 175 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, which is a 1.058 mile asphalt oval. That race is Saturday, September the 20th. It'll be at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and there'll be pre-race coverage on Fox Sports 1 starting at noon. Also radio coverage on the NASCAR Radio Network and Sirius XM NASCAR Channel 90. They will race a distance of 185.15 miles over 175 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 55. Stage 2 ends on, it's another 55 laps ending on lap 110. And then the final stage will be 65 laps ending on lap 175. Now, Friday, they'll have practice and Kennemental pole qualifying. That's today. It will be on Fox Sports 2 at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Then tomorrow, that race, as we mentioned earlier, starts at 12 noon Eastern time on for the EJP 175 on Fox Sports 1, NRN, and Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. 2 drivers will be eliminated after this race, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
It is, and there is a lot of history and things that go into New Hampshire. We'll start with our news and notes here, see what else we can cover. But this week marks the 21st running of a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, but it's the first since September of 2017.
And New Hampshire held one truck race every year between 1996 to 2011. Then again from 2014 to 2017.
So they're starting a new streak. We'll see how long this one goes. Now, 2025 is the 10th season of playoffs in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. They started theirs in 2016 and has now run through 2025.
And New Hampshire serves as the third track of the 7-race NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series playoffs and the elimination race for the round of 10. Darlington, Bristol, and New Hampshire are the tracks in this round. 2 drivers will be eliminated after New Hampshire. So we'll see how that plays out, Jay.
It's going to be interesting. We'll look at the points here a little bit later, but this is that third playoff race at New Hampshire. It was previously in the playoffs in 2016 and 17, both times then serving as the opening race of the postseason, not the elimination race.
And the first 14 New Hampshire races were 200 laps. The race was shortened to 175 laps starting in 2010. This is the 7th 175 lap race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
New Hampshire is the 5th of 6 new tracks for the Truck Series in 2025, new but old, recycled, if you will. And it's the 4th that previously held Truck Series races. So, again, we're in that era of kind of changing up the schedule back and forth year to year.
Yes, we are. Now, Grant Enfinger and Daniel Hemrick are the only playoff drivers who previously raced in the Truck Series at New Hampshire. So that might give them just a slight edge.
Ooh, you don't want to be giving Grant Enfinger no kind of edge. No driver for that matter, but now Christopher Bell, keep his mind in name when we talk about the Cup Series as well. He's the only driver to win at New Hampshire in the Truck Series and then go on to win the championship, and that was in that final year there in 2017.
And the average start position of the New Hampshire winner in the last 10 races was 1.4. All 10 winners started on the front row. So qualifying is going to be really important. We'll see who qualifies on the front row this year.
There you go. Check that out here coming up in just about an hour for us. So 65% of the New Hampshire races have been won from the front row. That's 13 out of 20. And that is the most of any track in Truck Series history with more than 7 races.
And the driver who led the most laps won 9 of the last 10 races at New Hampshire, including the last 6, Jay.
Well, speaking of winning races, Corey Heim and Lane Riggs have won the last 7 races. The last race not won by either of those two drivers was Michigan back on June 7th. That was by Stuart Friesen, which got him in the playoffs, but then he got injured and had to come out. So no drivers have won 8 straight races in Truck Series history. Those two together could combine to make history.
No kidding. All right. Now, Corey Heim is just 1 win away from tying Greg Biffle for the most in a single season. That was 9 that Greg Biffle had going all the way back to 1999.
Yeah, we've been watching whether or not Corey can make that history, and I think he does here with the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Now, Corey Heim is also 219 laps led away from tying the all-time single-season laps led record, and that was by Mike Skinner, 1,533 laps, and that was in their inaugural season back in 1996.
Wow. Corey Heim at 187 and Lane Riggs at 181 have led 368 of the 397 laps in the playoffs so far. So those are your 2 top drivers right there.
I was going to say, not just looking at picks for this weekend's race, but when we talk about the playoffs, I think those are your 2 top contenders right there.
Absolutely.
Now, Corey Heim has led 21 consecutive races, and that is already a history, as that's the longest streak in Truck Series history.
And Chandler Smith's average finish is 30.0, is the worst among playoff drivers through 2 playoff races in the Truck Series history. Can he turn it around and get a win this weekend? Time will tell.
I hope so, because that was my preseason as well as pre-playoff pick here. So, yeah, it's not going good for him. Now, 16 races this season have been won by drivers aged 25 or younger. That is tied for the most ever in a single Truck Series season. Goes back to 2021, the other time it was done.
Now, Chevrolet has not won in 8 races. That was Raja Caruth won in Nashville in May after winning 6 of the first 12 races of the 2025 season. This is Chevrolet's longest winless streak in the Truck Series since the fall of 2018.
Yeah, Corey Heim and Toyota kind of took over there.
They
now,
did.
This race serves as that cutoff race, as we mentioned before the round of 8. The bottom 2 drivers in playoff standings will be eliminated from the playoffs. Hate to see it, but we know it's got to happen in order to get to our championship 4.
Unfortunately, that's the way the playoffs work. Now, heading into New Hampshire this weekend, Daniel Hemrick, who is 51 points to the good, and defending series champion Ty Majeski, who's 46 points to the good, have made the 2 largest points cushions in the round of 8 cut line among drivers not locked in.
And Caden Honeycutt at plus 18 and Raja Caruth at plus 14 sit in the final 2 spots in these playoff standings to transfer into the round of 8 on points. Caruth made his first appearance in the round of 8 last season.
And Jake Garcia, who's down by 14 points, and Chandler Smith down by 24 points, are the only 2 drivers currently below the playoff round of 8 cut line. Smith has made the round of 8 twice previously in his career, in 21 and again in 22. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see the points shake up, I think, Jay.
And the 2025 season has produced 223 lead changes in the Truck Series. That's the sixth most through 20 races in series history.
And the veteran Matt Crafton leads the Truck Series at New Hampshire in starts. He's got a total of 15 with top 10 finishes in 10 of those races, lead lap finishes 12, and laps completed 2,782. A veteran of this sport that we're going to miss next season.
Without a doubt. Now, here's some good news. 5 different drivers have won the last 5 Truck Series races at New Hampshire. But again, we're on kind of a break where it's been a while since we've had a race there.
Yes, indeed. Now, Corey Heim has held the points lead in the Truck Series for the last 16 consecutive races, dating back to Homestead, Miami. And that race was on March 21st of this year. Corey Heim has earned 6 Xfinity Fastest Lap Awards this season. The next highest driver in the series has only 2.
And that shows his dominance. So we're going to look at the clinch scenarios here as we get to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, which is playoff race number 3. 2 drivers clinch their spot in the 8-driver field in the next round based on wins, and that is Corey Heim and Lane Riggs, as we mentioned. If there's a repeat winner by a driver who cannot advance to the next round, drivers could clinch by being ahead of the 7th winless driver in the standings. Same requirements would hold true if the new win comes from among Daniel Hemrick, Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger, Tyler Ankrum, or Caden Honeycutt, or Rajah Caruth. If it's one of those, not Daniel Hemrick, he would clinch with just 5 points. He's really close. That could be done in stage 1. Ty Majeski, he would clinch with 11 points. Grant Enfinger needs 28, as does Tyler Ankrum. Caden Honeycutt would need 39. Rajah Caruth, 43 points. And obviously, Jake Garcia and Chandler Smith would have to clinch with help as they are below the cut line. Now, if there's a new winner from Jake Garcia or another winless driver lower in the standings but eligible to advance, which only leaves Chandler Smith, the drivers would clinch by being ahead of the 6th winless driver. There, Daniel Hemrick would need more help. He'd need 19 points. Ty Majeski, 25. Tyler Ankrum, 42. Caden Honeycutt, 53. Rajah Caruth, 56. And then again, Jake Garcia and Chandler Smith needing the help.
And I want to add, Jay, you skipped Grant Enfinger. He's tied with Tyler Ankrum. He also needs 42 points.
You're right. You're right. They are tied. So Grant Enfinger and Tyler Ankrum both needing the 42. Now, any of these drivers can help themselves by picking up the win. Daniel Hemrick, Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger, Tyler Ankrum, Caden Honeycutt, Rajah Caruth, Jake Garcia, Chandler Smith. And they're pretty much the 2 below the cut line. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Jake Garcia at minus 14. That's doable. Chandler Smith at minus 24. That would need some help, I think, unfortunately. So just go out and win the race, Chandler.
I think that's what's going to possibly happen. And I think he really needs it for sure. Do you want to cover the driver points here?
Pretty much covered everything as far as the playoff drivers. So then their points will get reset here. We'll tell you this, though, in looking at the chart, Corey Heim, again, right now has 72 playoff points, which do carry into the next round. Almost all but guaranteeing him, I think, a carryover into the championship round based on points if needed. Lane Riggs has 32, which will set him up pretty good. And drivers can still earn those playoff points in this race, the 2 stage wins, and then if they win the race and get those 5 extra bonus points. But I think they're going to need to take it away from either Corey Heim or Lane Riggs. When we look outside those top 10, then Ben Rhodes in 11th place right now. Again, they can only get as high as 11th. Ben Rhodes in that position trying to hold on to it. Giovanni Ruggiero, a rookie, at 538 points, 20 points behind him. Those 2 could swap up positions here in this race. Then you got Tanner Gray, who's back at 492. Would have to get a little help and run good and get a little help to mix it up. From there on back, unless they see a win or something, I think drivers are going to have a really tough struggle even getting up to that top non-playoff spot. And again, that doesn't get a whole lot of attention at this point in the season, but that is the best they can do and what they have left to race for. Wins and the top possible finish of 11th for drivers below that line.
Yeah, that is so true. That's what makes this exciting. I do think those points are close enough that we could see some shakeups, especially if Chandler Smith wins. He's going to knock somebody out.
And the biggest thing is, it is New Hampshire. It's not what we typically see as like a Martinsville style short track, but it is still a short track. So if something happens, it can affect the entire field, not just, you know, one or two cars. So it will be interesting for sure.
All right. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
Man, if you haven't been listening to Sirius XM this week, you have missed out. The history of New Hampshire. Heard a lot of stories on Bob Barry, how this track has developed. And again, the back and forth that we're talking about here with the Truck Series, of them being on and off the schedule. Just a lot of great information about New Hampshire. It's one of those I hope never goes away. I know that they've cut it down to one race on the Cup Series side, but I hope never goes away because it is a great facility up there in the New England area.
Yes, it is. And do watch for more coming from Fan for Racing Radio. Taz and I sat down this morning to do the fantasy report. We'll be putting that out later today. And then Jay and I are doing the 3 previews for the NASCAR Truck Series that we just completed. Next up is Salem for the ARCA Menard Series. And then we'll close out the day with the preview for the NASCAR Cup Series, their first race in the round of 12 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
So with that, I know you've been pretty positive on Chandler Smith, but I know Taz has been on point with his fantasy preview. Did he give Chandler Smith any love as far as getting this win?
Well, he said the same thing. If he wins, that's going to shake things up, and I think it is. Then on the other side of the weekend, Sal and I will be back with the reviews of the 3 races that Jay and I are previewing today. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern time, we will have our NASCAR Hot Topic Sound Off with the Fan for Racing crew. And so definitely looking forward to that. And then next week, our previews, Jay, are going to be for Kansas Speedway.
There we go. There's no place like Kansas, right?
Yep, that's right. And 1.5 mile tracks are now on a high with the NASCAR fans and drivers. So I can't wait to see what happens there.
Certainly will be interesting and look forward to it.
Definitely. And we can't leave without saying thank you to everybody for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you and the time you take to view our videos.
All right. We'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you, Sharon.